Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the old family farm here in Farming Simulator 19 with me, CWATTYESO, and of course, Delores Flofflebotham. We've got the John Deere, obviously, 6M here, ready, because we've got some work to do on the farm today. And I remember bringing it over last night to make sure it was there, so I was reminded. Just having a quick check on the animals though, make sure we don't need to do anything with them first. Okay, all the fields need to be weeded, but as we're going to be ploughing anyway, that's not going to be a problem, because I'm just going to end up ploughing the weeds into the field. But today's task is to start to extend and expand our fields. We're going to make some alterations and modifications to the field sizes. Start to enlarge some of these fields, so we can get a little bit more crop out of them, and hopefully get a little bit more profitability going. So we're going to grab the little 4-metre subsoiler, and then we're going to go off and start to put on some new field edges. Now we're going to go and work on our bigger fields first. Our original sort of fields, field 3 is obviously the keen one, which is going to be extended up the hill quite a distance, and then we're going to move on to doing field 6 and 7, which I'm going to merge together into one field. Now obviously I just need to program a GPS course into the guidance steering to make sure we get nice straight lines, and I can use that to make sure we don't put wonky edges all on our fields. Because we don't want any wonky edges, do we? Nope. Let's keep the fields nice and straight. Now, I don't know how much extra we're going to get from this by making the fields bigger, but it should be enough. I mean, certainly field 3 should give us quite a bit more crop when I've expanded that up the hill a little way. We'll gain a little bit from merging field 6 and 7, because obviously there's a bit of dead ground in between the two fields. Field 5, when I expand that, will definitely give us a big boost to the crop situation. And I'm just needing to figure out what's going wrong with this. North and south, there we go. Perfect. So we've got a north-south course programmed and saved, and we'll have an east-west course programmed and saved. So I should be able to switch quite easily backwards and forwards between the two. Just going to move the course a little bit, shift it. There we go, that's the one I want to be on. So we'll get nice new straight field edges down this side. And I'm going to use the little mini map just so I can keep a track on the coordinates. I'm going to use that to judge distances. So like as I drive up, when I reach my stopping point up this hill, I'll make a note of the coordinates. That way when I drive up and do the other edge of the field, I can drive to the same coordinates, and then we get the exact same length, if you like. It's something I've been using, and it works quite well as a in-game measuring system for people who want to know exactly how far they're travelling. And so I'm just trying to work out where I want to drive to and where I want to stop. That'll do. at that point there. So there's going to be quite a good new chunk added to this field, and that should enable us to get quite, like I say, quite a bit more crop out of it when we start growing. And I put another. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that track. We're going to create a slightly wider field. I did think about possibly going out a little bit wider, taking that hedge out, and expanding the field quite a bit more to the right. But at this moment in time, I'm quite happy just to experiment with this and check to see how much we gain just purely by making the field longer before we start worrying about making it wider. We're going to drive to the same coordinates, which is there. So now we should have two new edges. And now if I change the track and do it to the east-west path, I can now drive along here and put the new top edge on the field. I want to get everything positioned. There we go. Important to take your time when setting up new field edges. Make sure you get it right. You don't want to be having to come back and faff about with the roller to remove the edges if you go wrong. Right, there we go. One brand spanking new field edge. So there's quite a bit of ground in the middle there that I can plough out, or we'll need to plough out before we are able to move on to the next step. Right, I'm going to do field 6 into field 7 now, so basically just go along the top of this field. No, not sold on that. Maybe you're too wide. Let's get along here, that's better. We'll just shift it out a little bit to make sure we get a brand new straight edge on the edge of the field, because I did notice on some of the fields they are a little bit not straight, quite straight on this map. Looking good. So let's drop that down. And like I say, we're just going to drive straight across into field 7 now to put a new sort of boundary on this. Here we go. So obviously this section between the two fields is going to give us the increase in yield. Pretty cool. Then we're going to go do the bottom of the field as well. The hedge will come out along the bottom. I've decided I'm going to take that hedge out, but I'm going to do it with the wild grass cedar. Replace the hedge with wild grass. Shift the course again. Put a new edge on the whole field. Drive down the course a little bit to make sure that the guidance steering gets it properly aligned on the heading. Sometimes if you start too close to the beginning, the guidance steering is still adjusting the course path a little bit, so you'll get a slightly wonky start. So you're best off making sure it's got itself lined up and straightened up, and then going back to the bit where you want to start doing the work and lowering the tool. So basically just going along here, and again you can see we're going to gain a couple of strips down that bit between the two fields, and obviously I'm going to extend this a little bit more to the right. So again, the little hedge row here is going to come out, and we're going to be a little bit closer towards that little row of like conifer fir trees. So I'm going to go through here. Stop about there, I think. I think Delores is happy with that. And then of course we need to do the top then. Now it depends where we're going to start this. Whether we're going to start it right on the edge or whether we're going to actually extend it a bit more. Going to shift the course, that's the most important bit, right. See, I probably should have extended it back. I've probably lowered that too soon. I could have made that section a lot wider. That's something we can always fix later on if I find out it's not working quite how I want when I'm farming it. And again, just make sure we go the same length as we did previously. It's not looking bad. That is not looking bad. I'll be honest, I quite like that. Alright, we're going to do the north-south edges now. Again, it's just a case of shifting the track, getting that where you want, and then obviously getting the vehicle lined up. Then lowering the subsoiler. One of the things you do have to kind of watch for a little bit is the area, the sort of ploughed area, and how it's coded around certain tools. And basically knowing when you drop that subsoiler down how much area it's going to plough behind the tool and how much area it's going to plough in front of the tool, and basically knowing that so you know where to lift and drop the tool correctly so as not to get like weird sticky out bits on your edge corners and stuff like that. We're going to take an edge here, which means that hedge to the left of me will come out when we plough the rest of this field. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plough the whole field using the allow create fields option, just to ensure there's no jankiness, no weirdness in the game system. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem, but I'm obviously thinking back to my Estancia series, my Estancia Lapacho Let's Play, where once I started extending fields and modifying field edges, things got very, very weird as far as the AI's ability to detect where field edges were, and it would cross fields and hop fields and stuff like that. I mean, obviously it's not going to be a factor too much on this playthrough, on this map, because I'm not using workers, I'm doing the work myself. But again, it's something I would like to keep an eye on. No, that's wrong. I've just dropped that in the wrong place. I've lowered that in the completely wrong place. Because I've used the coordinate system, but I've come at it, I've gone to the same coordinate, but obviously I've come at it from a different angle. I needed to drive to the coordinate from the bottom of the field. So now I've just randomly dropped that subsoiler in totally the wrong place. I'll have to go back and fix that. Otherwise I'm just going to have like an odd little bit of ploughed land now in the middle of that grass field. That grass area. But you can see I have decided to extend this field out. I realised I wasn't really going to gain, I can gain quite a bit more by widening it out at this top section. Obviously I'm going to gain quite a bit of room here. So that's where I should have been. So again, you've got to pay attention to when you're using the coordinate system, which way round you're driving the tractor and in which direction you're driving the tractor, because that affects things. And now I need to obviously join that up at the top there. I probably should have done that from the start. I did kind of mess up that first top edge. And honestly, trying to get the GPS to marry up with it and line up with it, it's probably not going to work. I'm best off probably trying to do this freehand and just drive this connecting bit myself. It's going to be interesting if I do it without managing to mess it up. Okay, that's... there's a little bit sticking out at the top of that field, look. It's not great. We use the terrain tool to paint over that bit where I've messed up. And then I can always go back and sow some wild grass over it. But you can see, get a good view here how these fields are going to change, how much space we're actually going to gain by me enlarging the fields. There we go. So that's that painted in. Obviously, need to sow some wild grass on that. Okay, so we've got all the edges on that field. Haven't done a bottom edge on this field yet. I did do the top, didn't I? Just checking. Yes. Okay. That's all right then. So now we can move on to fields 2 and 5. Now, originally I thought about ploughing field 2 into field 5 and extending it, making it a bigger field, but then I realised I kind of want to keep that road between them, because obviously I'm going to need access to fields 1, 4 and 9 at later points. So I'm not actually, all I'm going to do to this field is extend it out to the left a bit, maybe take out the hedge at the bottom. So we're not going to get a massive, we're not going to get really that much of an increase on this field actually. This field's not going to get that much bigger. It's not going to make much of a difference. Field 5's the one that's going to obviously get the most boost to its crop yield when we extend that. This is just to basically tidy this field up a little bit. One extra strip down here isn't going to be hugely different. And in fact, I'm not even going to plough through the hedge, I don't think. I'm just going to probably take it out with wild grass. But we gain 8 metres basically, near enough, on each side of the field. Adjust the course, let the guidance steering straighten her up. And obviously once I've put the field edges on, it's going to take me a while to go up and down and fill in to plough the bit in the middle, the rest of the fields. Right, I'm going to do the top edge of this field whilst we're still on the north-south course, because it makes more sense before I change it and rotate it. Let's just make sure again we get a nice good straight edge on the top end of this field. Right, rotate the course. Then we're going to put our nice brand new edge on it. Now this is obviously going to extend the field quite a bit in this instance. So I think this is the field that's going to get the most boost from us doing this work. And field 3, I think this and field 3 are going to be the most sort of productive field changes. And like I say, we might as well do this work now because we obviously need to plough anyway, following the corn and sunflower harvests. And we're going to need to lime this newly ploughed area anyway, because it's obviously, because it's never been filled, it's probably never been limed. So at least we'll be able to do it all in one go. There we go, that'll do nicely there. So don't want to extend it too close to the horse pen for obvious reasons, because we need to be able to work around the horse pen with the front loader. Shift the course. I don't want to make it too wide, this course. I'm not really going to expand it widthways. We're just expanding this course, this field lengthways. And drop the tool down. But again, we'll make sure we get a nice, good straight edge on it. And again, here I'm driving to the coordinate I made a note of when I did the other side, and because we're travelling in the same direction, it will work out quite nicely. So you can see just how much we're going to gain from this. Slightly lose a bit of my path. But not to worry. Right, I could rotate the course to do this next bit, or again I can drive it freehand, which I think I'm going to do. Shouldn't be too much trouble. Relatively flat ground, so the tractor shouldn't go massively off course in this short distance. And then, like I say, we just link this edge up. Right, so that's that bit done. So you can see this field's, well, it's almost doubled in size. We've almost doubled that field. Shifting the course. Put the new bottom edge of the field on here. And we just need to put the new top edge on this field, and this one's done as well. Like I say, this field, the changes to this are absolutely minimal. We're not going to get a huge difference in terms of crop off of this field, but we are going to gain more from the other fields that we've done. So certainly field 5 is going to yield a lot more crop now, because we've effectively doubled that field. Field 3 should give us a little bit more. Six and 7 obviously gives us a bit as well. We do lose a crop though, because now instead of having like 5 individual fields, we've only got 4. So we're not going to have as much variety planted at the same time. There we go. Good new edges on the field. So now all that's left for me to do is to go and fill in and plough the bits in between those new edges now, and obviously get the rest of the fields ploughed. But I'm just going to drop the subsoiler there for a second. I think I'm going to go get the seeder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out, go and sow some wild grass, take out some of the hedges. We need to fill it up with seed. Have I got any pallets of seed anywhere? I should have one. There it is. Yeah. Close the cover. So now we can go plant the wild grass and remove some of these lovely decorative hedges, starting with the one over here on field 2. Look at that. Works so well. Why this isn't a function in the base game, I don't know. I don't know why this has to be a mod to do this. It would have been nice if Giants had added the option to remove bushes and stuff like that into the base game. Along here at the moment, I think the course is set a little bit wide. Obviously it's using the 4 metre course, and this seed is only 3 metres, so there's a possibility we might get a gap in the grass. So I might just have to manually drive down the middle of that course. We'll see. It'll be easier to tell once it's fully grown in, because then you'll definitely be able to see if there's actually a clear gap. And then obviously I said I was going to take out the edge along the bottom of the course. Shifting that slightly. This will enable me to drive off the field a bit better with tools when I'm seeding and stuff, without constantly getting the hedge in me flipping face. Obviously I've got to watch out for the trees. I'm not taking those out. I like a couple of little trees. The couple of the trees just along the bottom here just gives it a bit of decoration. I will leave the path in there just in case I want to drive from the store into the field, mainly if I've refilled with seed and fertilizer and stuff like that, because obviously we've got rid of the placeable stations because Delores doesn't really need them. She's not really doing enough volume to warrant the upkeep on the placeable stations. When she does seed, fertilise, etc., with the tools she's got, it does work out cheaper for her just to go and buy a pallet from the store. So that's one of the rare occasions where the placeable system isn't more of an advantage and a benefit on a map like this. I mean, obviously on the Estancia series, it was better for me to have the refill silos, because A, the fields were so big, I needed to refill more frequently, and to drive to the store was quite an effort. It was quite a long drive. Whereas here, it's pretty much, the store's right next to our field. So, no distance at all. It's easy just to go there and pick up what I need. That's the wild grass sown in there. I'm going to leave the hedges either side of the main entrance way into the farm, because I do like the decoration there. There's a little bit that needs to come out on this field. And obviously I need to do the bit that we've terrain formed. And as you can see, I didn't quite get the edge right on that field. We've got a little knobbly bit on that corner. And that was probably due to me not doing that edge in one piece right at the start. I'm going to take out the hedges here. Ooh, didn't quite get that one. Need to go back and do that bit manually. And this is going to be close now, because I do not want to seed on the field. Ooh, we did a little bit just on the corner. Again, we'll make sure we get over the area that I terrain painted. Once the grass grows, you won't even notice. You won't even see the join. And again, we'll just remove a little bit more of the hedge from this bottom bit. Again, ultimately, when we eventually get around to having a mower, we've got this good little area where wild grass grows, which we can use to get grass, should we need it. Okay, so that's the wild grass put back. Hedges removed. Everything's looking pretty hunky-dory. Might just be a little bit, like I say, down the middle that I need to go and seed here. Just because I'm using the 4-metre course rather than a 3-metre one. And I don't want there to be a noticeable gap once the crop grass grows in. This will just make sure we've seeded every bit of it. Okay. Right, So that bit's done. Now it's a case of put this back in the shed and then get the subsoiler and go back to work doing the rest of the ploughing, which is going to take me quite a while. But let's take this hedge out. Come on, let's not mess around. We'll have this hedge out. Then I do at least have the option in future, if I did want to extend the field anymore, I can make it wider. I can shift it to the right. That was the original plan, obviously, it was to make it wider, but kind of just gone with lengthening it for now. Nothing set in stone. I'm sure as I'm driving around doing the rest of the ploughing, I might have other alternative ideas on what to do and bits and bobs like that. So I'm going to carry on and do this, and obviously get this hopefully all ploughed up and ready to then obviously fertilise and harrow, and then we can look at seeding. So I'm going to take this opportunity right now to say thank you everybody for watching the video. You've been a great audience as ever. I hope you've enjoyed the video and are enjoying the changes that we're slowly making to the farm. If you have, please go ahead and click that like button. If not for me, do it for Delores. Please feel free to leave any questions, comments, suggestions, anything like that in the comment section down below. And of course, as always, if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, go ahead, click that button. That way you get notified whenever new content gets uploaded, and you can continue to follow the series uninterrupted. So from now, from both of us here on the old family farm, it's goodbye, and we'll see you all again very soon with another video. Goodbye for now.